As a quick reminder, this Sunday, the 23rd of June, I'm going to be hosting the fourth and final qualifier for South Sea Mercenary League, so be sure to check out the link in the description down below if you want to sign up, come compete for final prize and final slot in the grand final. Imai's last time took on Alric Rawl in quite a doozy. This is from the most recent tournament, and we've got an absolute nail-biter today for you all. Between Bretonnia and the High Elves. Can be a tough matchup for the High Elves, but Imai's coming in here with an Archmage of Light. Very interesting choice. He's got Net here to try and hold back some charges, and Barona's Time Warp to augment the attack of the Archmage's Moon Dragon. Also got a Star Dragon here and a Frostheart Phoenix, some Silver Helms, and White Lion Infantry here with a single Archer, it looks like, to keep things honest. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the High Elves. Quite a bit of spend on those single entities for Bretonnia. Alric coming in with King Lewin up in the skies. Got Royal Hippogriff Knights, Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm, and it looks like Men-at-Arms, plenty of them, with shields, just in case of mass archers, which there aren't any, but still. Got some Peasant Mobs, a single Trebuchet again to keep things honest, and yeah, 2 Knights of the Realm, 1 Grail Knight. So should be pretty interesting. Gonna be actually quite interesting. Obviously healing on the side of Bretonnia, it must be said. The Lore of Life Damsel, so we are going to see an interesting comparison of Lore of Light versus Lore of Life here. But yeah, let's see. Looks like the Trebuchet going to be teeing off, thrown into those White Lions as they secure the center objective. Archmage forming up with the Phoenix and the Star Dragon, looking for some maybe early breath attack opportunities, peel off some models off some of these expensive cavalry and other units, or maybe just try and shut down the Trebuchet with a nice side-shotting breath attack, also possible. We shall see. Looks like, no, just going to hit into some of those infantry. Does chew away a good portion of those men-at-arms and lead to them wanting to rout. But early hit-and-run charges as well from the Silver Helms. Nope, looks like they're fainting away. Perhaps trying to draw out some of this Bretonian mobility here. Alric also looking for some openings. Both players just kind of feeling it out for now. Looking for any open opportunities. Archmage perhaps going to get into an aerial engagement here. Nope, does not actually path into Lewin there. And we do see, oof, the Grail Knights. Net is a tiny bit late to save the White Lions from the full impact of that charge. Definitely pains them pretty greatly, but yeah, thankfully the Dragons will be able to follow up. Dragon and Phoenix. Phoenix in particular with the Frost effects, debuffing speed significantly. Once that net drops, they'll still have a hard time escaping. Yeah, also debuffing the melee attack of those Grail Knights is quite nice, but both players just investing heavily in this engagement as they rush in a lot of resources. Knight actually catches the Dragon, catches the Hippogriff Knights up in the air. Both Dragons now duking it out as Lewin fights on the ground. We see Barona's Time Warp there, juicing the melee attack, while Sword of Corone reduces defensive stats on all these units. Kind of ends up a little bit of a wash. The Dragons do hard land there, as do Royal Hippogriff Knights, leading to White Lions being able to support. Likewise, the Ground Knights are also able to support here, so yeah, a little bit of a chaotic situation. I don't know actually who hard landed. Maybe it was the Hippogriff Knights, and the others are just following them down. Hard to tell. But Knights in a good surround here with the White Lion Sport being terrified away. A little bit of a rough engagement for Imai's, but he should be able to still recover this as his Lions just try and cut through the mass of peasants that they're up against. Yeah, right now would have been a great time for like a banishment or something. Obviously there is no such effect currently, but even still, the Archmage of Light holding out quite well. Defensive stats kind of kicking in as the Grail Knights are forced to fight in a more sustained engagement. White Lions also get a really nice kind of rear charge in here. Yeah, 18 charge bonus might not seem like that much, but on 38 attack, 34 weapon strength just helps them get over that 50 mark. Well, pretty decent stuff, all things considered. That said, Star Dragon is taking extreme damage at this point, and obviously there's no healing for the Elves, so they're definitely going to have a tough time with that. But will it end up mattering if they can just do the damage in return? Barona's Time Warp kicking in, the 64 melee attack on the Phoenix, what was that, like 74 on the Star Dragon? Absolutely insane stats, and healing on the side of Bretonnia, obviously, just sustaining all these high-value units. High Elf units taking surprisingly little damage, all things considered. I guess Hippogriff Knights really don't have that great of melee attack. I can get their unit card to sort of hold here. Yeah, 39 with the Frost Arts debuff. It's been super important, helping to shrug off a lot of attacks and prevent a lot of damage in the first place on the Star Dragon, but ultimately, choice of Lore of Light might come back to bite you Mize here. He can't sustain through this late game grind and just ends up losing out in that way. It would be a little bit painful, but Silver Helm's in the back line. Can apply plenty of pressure here. Keep pushing around and disrupting all these infantry and archers and whatnot. Make sure they can't get set and shoot. The Star Dragon getting extremely low at this point, as is the Moon Dragon, taking a couple of big flank attacks there from King Lewin. Yeah, we'll keep the health bars up as we zoom in sort of close. Lewin going to throw a big old sort of crone, and standing ground also does not help. The Hippogriff Knights stand their ground. They, in fact, do rout. Star Dragon also looking like he wants to rout right now. I don't know. I almost think the Star Dragon should just stay here in combat. Maybe, it's hard to say circle around and fight Lewin, but maybe even just come fight these peasant mobs. Just the biggest thing is just to stay close with these other units, but I do see the archers raining in some fire there. Maybe that's what Umize is trying to escape from there. Those Pox arrows may have enough left in the tank to just finish the Star Dragon. Looks like the dragon takes off. Maybe going to try and pursue those Hippogriff Knights, but yeah, single volley is enough to rout it off even before it makes contact. It is a very, very painful loss. That said, King Lewin, while we've been focusing on that, has been getting 2v1'd here by the Moon Dragon and the Frostheart Phoenix, with the Frostheart as well, debuffing his speed, making him unable to escape. Very advantageous situation for Umize. If he can rout King Lewin, he can shut off his passive healing, and also shut off the Blessing of the Lady ward save. So two massively powerful effects for King Lewin shut down in the late game could end up proving critical. We'll see though. Another Barona's Time Warp there for the Lions as they juice up their attack and speed. They've got plenty of units to run down here out in open space. But critically, there are a couple of Knights here that actually managed to find their way. The remaining Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm, managed to get in here and get a really nice charge, get a full surround on the Archmage, just a little bit in front of the Lion support here. The Lion support does start to trickle in and definitely will help to take out those Knights, but the question is, how much damage will the Archmage and the Phoenix take in the meantime? They've also got an opportunity here to maybe goon the caster, but instead they're going to focus on trying to finish the Knights, which I understand to a degree, but I don't know, I might have switched onto the caster at that point, had I noticed. Probably wouldn't if I was actually playing this game, but just to, you know, even if you could get a couple hits and terrify away the damsel, just shut down any remaining healing that Alric does have in a really tight game like this, especially where Umize doesn't have access to healing, could end up mattering quite a bit, but right now just trying to finish those Knights of the Realm. The Grail Knights were able to clean up the Silver Helms, so them struggling in that open space engagement. White Lions here also going into a little bit of tactical reserve as the archers get swarmed there, so all of a sudden, like, these Lions are a little bit spaced away from the single entities fighting. Knights of the Realm suddenly get some good damage burst on the Archmage and almost rout her off. Phoenix is able to come in and save the day, but the damage taken there is pretty critical, especially, again, given the lack of healing for Umize, so definitely feeling the pain at this point. Alric gets a beautiful opportunity to hit these White Lions out in open space here as they're totally exposed and without support. Going to be getting hit by Pox arrows, so they're poisoned, and oof, they keep going after an even more weakened unit. The Hippogriff Knights drop with King Lewin, sort of prone, or, oof, yeah, looks like Barona's Time Warp attempted to be used there, isn't going to help as they do, unfortunately, get quickly terrified away. So, yeah, painful game for Umize. I will say, if he had taken just a traditional healing Archmage on the dragon here, he might have won. I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, hindsight 2020, and it did get good RNG. Certainly the Barona's Time Warp helps that RNG in the single entity fights. But it's not over yet. Frostheart Phoenix drops down. He's going to try and debuff and attack those Grail Knights, but more healing on Bretonnia's side still available from that Damsel. These high-value units are going to keep up regenerating, whereas Umize high-value units just running out of steam here. The Archmage going to get caught in the air against Lewin and the Knights, and that will spell the end for it. So we'll fast forward through this last stand.
The enemy has slain our lord.
As the last single entities for the High Elves make their fight. White Lions also make their last doomed charge. And this one unit here just getting still bogged down by peasants out in space, so yeah, an interesting game for sure. Like I said, I think Yumai's would agree if he had taken healing there, he probably ends up winning that game, just healing the Star Dragon, Frostheart Phoenix, and sustaining them through that damage. And actually this kind of heavy triple single entity build, I end up just fully stealing. It seems like it did fairly well, all things considered, and these 3 single entities fighting especially do make very tough opponent for these knights to try and fight, especially with the Lions support. Lions generally do a decent job here for the most part, very cost effective. Same can't be said of the Silver Helms, unfortunately, and they are very much sort of a weak link in this build, even just like a minus 50 cost, so they're more in line base cost with Empire Knights. Help them be that much more cost effective. You can maybe squeeze a little bit extra out of this build. Not that it would make a huge difference, but you know, a little bit goes a long way, especially with the High Elves. Credit to Alric, though. He played that pretty brilliantly, all things considered. Made sure to punish anytime he found units that were isolated. Even when he did make some mistakes, like getting King Lewin kind of beat up there, was able to still recover him and get him back into advantageous situations with the Hippogriffs, who had also suffered some pretty severe damage. But yeah, very, very close game overall. Ultimately, Alric would go on to end up winning this qualifier, so Yumai's this might have been the closest game that he had. He did have some pretty good scraps in the finals as well, but Yumai's definitely gave him an absolute run for his money there and did the High Elves proud. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.